I'm Reen Schwarzer, and you're listening to the Giant Sword Podcast. Microphones, activate!
Hello, and welcome to this week's Giant Sword Podcast. I'm your party leader, Nick. Joining me, as always, is Taylor.
What's up?
And Brandon.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
What's up? It's been a really long time. It's been about a month. So, we've been getting some new followers, and I want to explain to anyone new listening what exactly we are. We are a JRPG-centric podcast. We talk about news, what we've been playing, some anime, I don't know, waifus, whatever we want to talk about. Sometimes, fighting games and horror games. But that's all this is all about. And, I hope you guys enjoy it. And be sure to subscribe if you do. So, guys, it's been a long time. I haven't played anything, sadly to say. I explained that I've been in a rut and I haven't really been doing much. Just been working. Mm-hmm. But hopefully that changes soon when I get Cold Steel 4. How have you guys been doing?
Pretty good. Mainly it's in terms of like JRPG related stuff. A lot of Genshin Impact. I'm kind of getting to the point with that game where I just have to start doing the dailies, So
that's funny because that's one of the topics I want to talk about. Is that
okay?
That exactly.
And
I got Shadow's Girl totally unlucky on a lucky roll.
I hate you. I hate you completely. I want to play that game, but every time I turn it on, I'm like, I don't have Mona. I'm so pissed off. I don't want to play this game because I believe firmly that gacha games, like your enjoyment stems for your characters that you get and the characters you play as, the characters that you like, and she's the only reason I want to really play that game. And I've heard from a couple of sources that she's not even that great, but I don't care. I'll make it work. Okay.
Yeah, I will confirm that. The one thing that is weird about her is her movement, because she doesn't move like a normal character. She does this like underground water thing. I don't know if you've seen her sprint, but basically when a normal character sprints, they just sprint, and when you let go, they stop. But with her, she like dives under the ground and makes little bubbles above the ground, and then she pops up. So you can't sprint and then jump with her, which is kind of annoying. So anytime I'm trying to like jump off a cliff or make a jump or something, she has to pop up first and then make a jump, which sounds a little ticky-tacky, but it's annoying when you're just trying to run around and do stuff.
Is she a magic user?
Yeah, she's like a spellcaster.
What element is she again? Water or
water? Yeah.
Water. Okay.
So she's good for like the fire flower boss and bosses that have like a fire shield. She'll just melt through it really quick. But she doesn't have I don't have good gear for her yet, so it's taken a while. But yeah, I'm trying not to no life it, as people have been saying. So I'm trying to just like log in, do the dailies. If there's new quests, do them, and then log out, because I know there's a 1.1 update coming around the corners that'll add new quests and stuff like that. So, but the only other thing I've been playing is Bloodborne.
You've been streaming
I played that. Yeah, I've been streaming that, and that was really fun. I hadn't played that in a long time, and it was really fun to dive in with some new weapons and like actually know what I was doing this time, doing all the bosses, doing the DLC. And surprisingly, all I heard was the final boss, Orphan of Kos, was like this giant nightmare. That was my favorite boss of maybe the whole game. It was so fun because there were moves that I knew I could punish and I knew when to hit. So it was like coming up with a strategy and just executing it. There's other bosses that I just couldn't figure their patterns out. And I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to cheese this thing to beat it. But with Orphan, I was like, I know what to do. I just have to get it right. And beating it was really satisfying. So yeah, that was really fun to go through.
It's always the wolf that gets you.
The wolf?
The wolf. I don't know. I haven't played Bloodborne before. It's the wolf boss.
There's no wolf.
No wolf boss?
There's beasts. Maybe. I don't know if that's...
What's the boss that you had trouble with that everyone else apparently did not have trouble with?
Oh, Rom. It was a spider. And you know what's really funny is I think previous experience and building a character correctly, there were bosses that I had so much trouble with that I just beat first try. Like Vicar Amelia beat first try. Rama beat first try. The 3 ring wraiths, I don't know what they're actually called. Shadow of Yharnam, I think, beat him first try. There were just so many. Lady Maria, which apparently people have trouble with in the DLC, I beat her first try. So that game is really funny in that some people have a lot of trouble with one boss and are not so much with the other, and vice versa. So I don't know. That's interesting. But Shadow, have you ever played Bloodborne?
Nah, not really. I'm not a Souls fan at all.
I'm not either. I don't really like Dark Souls, but Bloodborne is like a different beast because it's more. You have to be more aggressive, I guess, as opposed to defensive with like a shield and stuff. So, but yeah, don't get me wrong, it's definitely tough. You definitely have to take the time to learn how it plays.
Like, I'm sure I could play a Souls game or a Bloodborne if I, took time to actually play it. Just that it doesn't appeal to me at all. Like, I don't like the style. It looks dreary, damp, dark. It's just not my cup of tea, honestly. I mean, if somebody like, I don't know, paid me to do it, to play, I play it. And I'm pretty sure I beat it, no problem. Not no
Sure.
problem. I'm sure I'll struggle with a boss here and there, but I'm pretty sure I can beat it. But I have no interest in playing it.
Yeah, it's just not your cup of tea.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure that style of game is not my cup of tea at all, because it's games like Cold Vein, which I believe is similar to the Souls and Bloodborne formula. And I played that. I'm like, I'm just not interested. I don't know. The style of game doesn't do it for me. I don't know.
That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, as far as what I've been playing, that's pretty much it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
What's the dealio with your guys's YouTube channels? How are those going?
I was talking to Shadow about this. I don't know where we were talking about this, but I've been having a lot of weird trouble with people unsubscribe. Oh, you were on chat when I was streaming. That's what we were talking about a little bit. Right. Yeah, and I've been having this weird problem where I'm a little bit out of whack with my schedule, because normally I put out a video every Friday, but it's sort of been like every other Friday, and I've taken some weeks off and I've been streaming a lot more, and I've just been getting a lot of people unsubscribing. And so I'm like, all right, I'm just going to go back to streaming on Twitch just so people don't get confused. And then I'm going to go back to a schedule. And this week it is kind of leveled out. So I don't know if my audience is just fickle or what's happening, but yeah, that was kind of frustrating for a few weeks there.
Interesting. I've never seen that. I mean, as I think I told you in the chat, that I don't really pay attention to my YouTube analytics all that much, because I think it's for the sake of my sanity. And honestly, I actually don't care that much, honestly.
Fair.
But yeah, that's a weird problem you're having. That would seem to be the opposite. People want to see more of you,
right? Yeah,
video, like, just to interact you, see what you're about when you're not making a video, something like that. So I never seen that. I think the last video I made, was a live stream. And again, I don't really look at the analytics, so I don't know. Maybe I did lose subs. I don't know. But as far as my YouTube channel goes, I haven't been able to upload for a while, a really long time. I just been playing games, man, and ever since like the summer, I was really interested and really passionate about catching up with Legend of Heroes. So since like I think June, I was playing Sky 2, third chapter, and the Crossbow games. And I successfully caught up with each of those games, and that's part of the reason why I haven't been able to upload as frequently as I want to. And right now, even I'm playing Trails of Cold Steel 4. I've been playing that for the last week or so. Actually, 2 weeks and a half. I got the game early. I haven't been able to get out a review for it yet, because I didn't want to rush through the game. And there were times where I was a little bit burnt out with the game. And then I was thinking to myself, man, I got the embargo day. I can't stop playing. I got to keep playing. But then I said to myself, no, this is Legend of Heroes. This is the 4th game. This is the end of saga, as it's put in the Japanese title of the game, I believe. And I'm not going to sit there and try to rush through this game just so I can be the early bird to get the worm, to get the views and get all that stuff. I was like, it's not for this game. I'm not doing it for this game. Maybe for another game I do it for, try to rush through it, try to get you guys out a review, but I wasn't doing it for this game. I'm like, no, I'm just going to sit down, enjoy it, soak it all in, go talk to every single NPC after each event to see what's going on, see how everybody feels about it. It's awesome to see like there's a whole bunch of characters in the game. I think you guys already know, and Nick, you already know that.
Yep.
And it's nice to see their interactions. So after every event goes on, there's like characters sitting around with each other. I'm like, oh, what you guys doing? What are you guys? This is an unlikely pair. What are you guys talking about? So I always wanted to do that. I wanted to squeeze out everything I could in each chapter, in each act. And I'm like, I'm not rushing to do this. I don't care. So I'll get out the review. Hopefully, I want to say probably by next week. I want to say, because I should be done with the game sometime this week. Get the script out, and hell, I know it's not going to get as many views as a pre-release date, but it is what it is. Hopefully people will enjoy it and maybe just hit the like button on the video. I'm gonna explain when I get into the review. When I do the review, I'm gonna talk about this as I did. So hopefully they understand and they hit the like button on it, so to get it more views. People
just put the swimsuits on the thumbnail. You're gonna be good.
Yeah, I could make a really provocative thumbnail, but maybe I will. I'm not sure. I did get all the swimsuit DLC and stuff like that, and it's pretty nice. Actually, I gotta say, I don't like putting swimsuit on my characters for the real serious moments, but there's a point in the game where I think they're kind of warranted. So I think when you reach this particular point in the game, Nick, put the swimsuits on. It's not gonna kill you. It's not gonna look out of place.
Those type of costumes always just throw me out. It's like something super serious, and like they're in a towel, and you're just like,
Exactly. Yeah, I don't like doing that. Maybe for my second playthrough, because I'm thinking about maybe going through the game again on Nightmare, because I don't know. I've been talking to a friend of mine. This is pretty easy. I'm playing on hard right now, and the game is really easy. Like I have not run into a character boss that I haven't been able to handle, but I'm coming up at the end of the game, so who knows what's going to happen then. But I'll just say this: have a magic user in your party at all times. You guys know me. You guys know I love Emma, so she's always in my party. So she's just wiping things out with her skills. And that's another thing about the game is that they give you a lot of characters early on, so there's a lot of room for customization and to do whatever you want and to play whatever characters you want. Don't restrict you that much, which I believe Cold Steel 3 did a lot.
Cold Steel 3 went with the Cold Steel 1 formula where they made the party for you.
Yeah.
So from what I'm hearing, this is more like Cold Steel 2, where it's open-ended.
Yeah, it's really open. Like after a certain point, I want to say when you get to Act 2, like there's a whole bunch of characters you can use. And there might be some points where some characters are locked for story reasons that you have to use, but they give you like 2 or 3 characters that you can optionally use yourself, But yeah.
Without spoiling your review, I mean, generally speaking, do you like it? Do you not like it? Or are you just wanting to save it all for your review?
Yeah,
and if you want to, that's totally fine.
That's one of the topics I wanted to ask. It just says, Brandon, thumbs up or thumbs down? That's it. That's all you gotta do.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. So far, I don't know what's gonna happen. They maybe not stick the landing on the ending, but we'll see what happens. There is one major thing that I didn't like, but we'll have to talk about that when we do spoiler cast eventually. It's sometime down the line. But there's one thing I didn't like, and it's not too big of a deal. I kind of expected it, but hey, it is what it is. But so far, 2 thumbs up. I love the game.
Nice.
All right, so let's move to the only bit of news because we missed all the news from that month. But this one just happened today, I think. Bandai Namco filed trademarks for Tales of Luminaria. Luminaria. There you go.
Yeah.
What is this? Sounds like a mobile game.
Yeah, it could probably be a mobile game. It could be a mainline Tales game. But sometimes companies just trademark stuff just to trademark them. Sometimes they become something. Sometimes they don't become anything. I can't believe this is a mainline game without Tales of Arise being released or having any release date in sight. So I don't think it is.
This is the new name.
It could be. Who knows?
That's an interesting theory.
It could be an anime. I don't know. Some just anime only short thing. I don't know. Maybe they put a game sometime that online, but that'd be stupid to have an anime didn't have the game. I don't know. I don't put too much stock into it, honestly.
Yeah, because my thought is, people. I think people are jumping on the mobile bandwagon, but they just put out Tales of Cristoria, so I can't imagine they would want another Tales mobile game to compete with that. That doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I don't think it's a mobile game. But Nick, you're more knowledgeable on Tales series than both of us. Is there anything in any of the past Tales games that might indicate this could be like an HD collection? Like, is Luminaria like a world or a term or something in some old games or anything like that? No.
Good guess, but I don't think so. No.
It sounds like a generic name to me. That's what it sounds like. Sounds like a maybe it's thrown out. Oh, maybe it's thrown around. You know what's funny? I think there's a name of a type of character similar to that. Let me see. I think actually it's Tales of Legendia.
For the video watchers, Shadow didn't just bounce. He had a timer that he had to go check. So he's not just like, screw you guys, I'm out of here. Yeah. But yeah, and I don't think it's another game. I don't know what this could be. I mean, Shadow said in anime, that's probably the best guess, because Arise is still not out yet. I can't imagine they would put either a mobile game or another mothership title to compete, because there's games coming so soon. So that's the only reason I keep thinking about an HD. So what do you got?
I want to wait until Shadow's here, but
okay,
I was correct. I knew it sounded very familiar.
Okay.
So it's not exactly the same, but it sounds familiar.
Okay.
So
sorry about that, guys.
It's all good. I found out why this name sounds familiar, because in Tales of Legendia, there's like a mystical figurehead that's called the Luminary.
See, there you go. HD remake of Tales of Legendia.
This is called Luminaria.
See, that makes sense to me, because Legendia is a dumb name. Legendia, that's a kind of Luminaria. That's a little bit more like fantastical, mystical. So that could be what it might be.
See, I was replaying Tales of Legendia a while back before I stopped playing everything. I wanted to do a video about if it's really as bad as everyone says, and it's not. Legendia is actually really good. Legendia is actually a really fun game.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad game at all.
It feels different because it's made by the Soul Calibur team. Isn't that weird? So that seems weird. And all the music is made by I forgot his name. He's the secondary composer for Tales games. That's usually with Matoy.
Oh, okay.
It starts with a Shin something. But so the music sounds very different as well. But what I've noticed is like that game went all out with its looks. The animations are really over animated, so it's like really like it looks like it's weird. It's like really over animated, but it's good. It's like it's charming. The character model, the characters, the sprites when they do the talking and the skits are the mouths are freaking synced up with the English. So I'm like, holy crap! They actually took the time to do that. That's really impressive. I need to still play, but I got really into it. The battle system feels kind of weird at first. You have to turn it on manual to get the full effect because
I remember that.
Because semi-auto is not like semi-auto in the other games. It actually is just do what it's like. You press attack and it does the right attack you need to do, so you don't have any control of attacking. So. But yeah, Legendia is fun. Like in my hopes and dreams, this game is the mystical middle game between Zestiria and Berseria, or Berseria and Zestiria.
Do you think they would already start trademarking that though before Arise is out? That seems soon.
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, I guess they could, because they if they have that name in mind and they want to make sure they get that that name and that trademark, they want to get it as early as possible. So yeah, they could have done it early. They maybe had the name in mind and they just want to make sure they have it.
Hmm.
I don't know what it could be. I don't think it's a Legendia remaster or remake. It can't be a remaster because Legendia is not strong enough to warrant a remaster. Like I don't think it would sell, and it doesn't look that good to be a remaster. So I would say to get a remaster. So I would say it's probably, if anything of that vein, it would be a remake. But again, Legendia is at the bottom of the barrel, unfortunately, when it comes to Tales games. It's not a bad Tales game. It's not a bad game. It's not even a bad Tales game. It's just on the lower end.
It has a reputation.
Yes, exactly. So I wouldn't say this is not a re-release of that game. This is, if I had to bet money on it, probably just a new game. I don't know. It just, like I said, I don't think it's anything. I don't think it's anything. I'd be surprised.
I mean, I'm still waiting for that game, that middle game, man, when they were, because in the middle there's a cataclysm that happens there that causes everything to go crazy. Yeah. So we all want to know what happens in that.
But oh no, I was gonna say this was a long time ago, but you would know this better than me, Nick. But wasn't there talk of a Switch exclusive Tales game at some point?
There was. I remember it was supposed to be a Switch, a Tales of exclusive game, which we pretty much thought that was going to be a port of a game. And I was hoping that would be like a Tales of Zestiria complete, which fixes all the, like, they made it complete. They fixed all the bugs, all the loose ends. They added Alicia back, who could actually, what's it called? The merging, because she could do that. What's that called? Do you remember what it's called when they merge?
No, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember what the name of it is though.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
I don't know why I'm thinking polymerization. God. Does it begin with a T? Terrorize? No, that's
that's very
armatization.
Armatization. Yes, there you go.
Armatization.
Yeah, so she could do that. She can armatize in the anime. So that's what.
Oh, I know she can armatize the anime.
In the anime, she can, because in the game she's like, oh, you don't have strong enough power, strong enough connection to the what are they called now? The Seraphim.
Yeah,
the Seraphim. So it's hurting Saray. Because he started getting blind, and I think the same thing was happening in the anime, but something happened where it made her powerful. Like she got more powerful, and then so she became back and became one of the. Man, I forgot all the terms. There's so many freaking terms in this game.
Yeah, there's always
so much like jargon.
Yeah.
So, I don't blame you on that.
But I did watch the ending of the Tales of Zestiria anime. That anime is amazing, by the way. It's really good.
It is, really.
And it said it has it extended on the final cutscene, the post credits cutscene of Zestiria, where Saray goes, does his thing. I don't want to spoil it. And it says the shepherd's journey will continue, and I'm like, oh, is that a tease for something?
Interesting. Oh, it could. Yeah, that's what I say. It could be an anime of that, of exactly that. What you're talking about, that sequel, that in between. But I would think that they would be done with this Berseria story, and they just want to move on. Because if anything, an anime would be of Tales of Arise.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It would have to be a Tales of Arise. Yeah.
Well, because the only reason why I'm thinking maybe it's a lower budget like Switch exclusive is because Capcom is doing like a lower budget Monster Hunter game that's just for Switch, that Monster Hunter Rise. They're obviously going to work on Monster Hunter World 2 because World is their best-selling game. But I don't know. Maybe we have so many options. Could be an anime. Could be a Legendia remake. Could be just another game just for Switch.
It could be that Switch port or that Switch game.
Yep.
Which is probably going to be like a Graces, right? Which, if Graces feels like a Wii game.
Yeah.
But it's still a good game. But you could feel it. You feel it.
Yep.
All right. So, Taylor?
Yes.
I know both of you guys actually have been playing Genshin Impact for a long time. You're really into it. A lot of people are really into it. Is it starting to run out of steam?
Yeah, it's definitely out of content. Because once you hit a certain... So they have this thing called Adventure Rank, which is like your accounts level, if that makes sense. And there are a lot of story quests and there are like dungeons and things to do. But then once you hit a certain level after you've completed it all, there's nothing to do but just log in and do your dailies pretty much. And they've been like drip feeding. Like they have this new thing right now where there's a vendor in Mondstadt, or actually he kind of hops all over the place. But he's like, I need 100 of this food, or I need 10 of this food, and then you'll get like a little prize box in exchange. So, and there have been little things like that, but they desperately need a big content update because it's definitely running dry. And people keep saying it's a gotcha thing, but I
was just thinking, it's like, it sounds like a gotcha game to me. Yeah, go ahead, keep going.
But the thing about it is, you also start running out of the items that you need to level up your characters. Like you run out of money, you run out of the upgrade material. So I'm sitting here with a pretty good team, but I can't level them all up because I don't have enough money. I don't have enough materials. And the real, I think, roadblock is this thing in the game called resin, which is the only actual energy timer in the game. So you use resin to go into like dungeons and fight certain world bosses and stuff. And there's not a great way to get more, and so you're just really limited in like the big content that's available because the resin system is so bad right now. And they've already said they're going to increase the max amount that you can have. They're going to give you more ways to get it, but it's definitely at the end game you hit a roadblock and there's really not much to do, unfortunately.
That's how I was just like thinking. It sounds like a gotcha game to me. Like most gotcha games at launch, after you do like the main story stuff, there's not really much to do else. You wait for a new update that has a new story segment, or you wait for a new event story or something like that that's coming, like a Halloween or a Christmas story, Thanksgiving story, whatever it is. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people aren't familiar. From what I'm hearing from you, they aren't familiar with the gotcha game model. This is how it goes. You mentioned that you were running out of gold and stuff like that. You said that, or
yeah, definitely.
So
you totally run out of gold.
Is there no way to run a dungeon or whatever it's called? Because I haven't played it in a while, to be honest. To get a lot of gold or something like that. I'll get a good amount, I'll get some amount.
So the two main ways to get like decent chunks of gold are there's a battle pass where you do activities daily, weekly, monthly, and depending on what you do, you level up your battle pass level, and then at certain levels you can get big chunks of money. And the only other way to get sizable chunks of money are these things called ley lines, which are basically these little clouds that are all over the world, and you initiate them and you fight a little mini battle, and then your reward is money. But again, you need to spend resin to get the rewards. And so you only have 120 resin a day. I mean, it recharges, but you basically start the day with 120 resin. It costs 20 resin to do a ley line. So you can only do 6 of those a day feasibly if you don't want to pay for a recharge. And where I'm at, that's just not enough to pay for everything. Because that's the other thing. It's like, not only do you need the money to pay for the upgrades, but then you need the materials that go into it, and then you need and you're really feeding 4 characters, or at least I don't know, depending on how you want to build your team, 4 or 5 characters, and so that stuff just dries up really fast. So I'm trying to not be. I mean, I can't be a whale on this game, but I'm just like I said, I'm logging in, doing the dailies. The only money I've spent is there's a $5 thing where it gives you the premium currency, like 90 a day for a month, which I think is a good deal. And then they have the battle pass, which is free. But then if you pay $10, you get there's 2 levels to it. And if you pay $10, it unlocks the second level with more items and better items. And so I bought that. So I spent $15 so far.
It's the typical battle pass. Yeah.
So I'm happy with what I've paid for, but yeah, it desperately needs more.
Are there any
content right now?
Are there any skins yet?
No skins.
I
take that back. The only skins
coming.
are the gliders. That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's got to be. I've never played Honkai Impact. And have you played that at all, Shadow?
Yeah, I played it for a little bit, not that much. But I don't think those skins are just different characters that you can get at the end of the day. They're not like you still got to roll the gacha to get those types of characters. I think one is a different class and the other one's the same character but a different class and stuff like that. So they're not really skins per se. They're just classes that you can get for a different character.
They definitely need to add skins because I bet you there's that would add the whales. People would play the game like crazy just to get a sexy skin.
Oh, I'm sure. If they haven't already started making them, they should.
Yeah, but I don't think they're like you're gonna have to purchase those. But I think they're gonna come in the way of like events or something like that. Game released around the summer, you probably would have had like Mona in a freaking swimsuit, and you have to roll for her. That you can't just change her outfit easily. No, you got to roll for that. Something like that.
Well, it's interesting that you were saying, Shadow, like some people aren't understanding the gotcha thing. And I think the problem with that is Genshin Impact is like blending your traditional open world RPG with gotcha mechanics. So it's sort of a game that we've never really seen before. Sure. And I think people like, people that normally don't play gotcha games are coming in because it's fun and it's free. And then you also might be getting the gotcha players that are like, oh, I know what this is all about. It just plays like more of like a console game than a mobile game.
That's what I was figuring. And you guys are just running out of content because you're just going right through it. But there's no like, you said there's like dailies and stuff like that. So there's no like, because it's interesting because every gacha game I play, Fate Grand Order, Final Fantasy, Epic 7, there's always like a daily map you can run to get materials and get money. Sure, it might cost you energy or resin in this case, but it's always there just in case you run out of materials, stuff to level up your characters or evolve your characters or whatnot.
There are, like I said, there are dungeons, and every day the materials that drop from those dungeons change. So you have to go on the right days to depending on what characters you have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then you do those little ley lines to get money. But I don't know if the balance is off, or they just want you to pay for more recharges, or I don't know what it is. But I'm unwilling to pay for recharges, and I just feel like
recharge?
Well, okay, let me think here. So recharge is either one of these things called fragile resins, which is like, it looks like a little moon, or it's 60 primo gems. And I don't know what the math is on what a primo gem costs in money. Probably.
That's another thing I don't like. There's so many freaking different currencies. I hate that. Fake Grand Order. I love Fake Grand Order. I hate Fake Grand Order at the same time. But this is one goddamn currency, premium currency. That's all you gotta worry about. This ain't quartz, and that's it. Freaking Epic 7, you got the freaking primo gems. You got the crystal, whatever. I don't know. It's just so much stuff to worry about. I hate that. But does it cost like, I don't know, does it say like maybe $10, or maybe get like a pack for $10 to redo your resin or something like that? Or
no, so that's the only way you can recharge your resin is with these things called fragile resin, which you can't buy. You only earn them by leveling up your adventure rank or doing quests or whatever, or you can just straight up pay with primo gems, which I forget what it costs, how many primo gems it costs to recharge, and I don't know what the dollar exchange, if like $1 gets you 10 primo gems. I don't know what the exchange rate is, so
okay.
It's just a little messy right now.
Yeah, I think it was like 1,600 primo gems to do a 10-time summon, and I think that was you had to pay like 25 or 30 or something like that.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. By the way, I spent like $100 on Genshin Impact. I got the $100 pack, and I just said, let me just see what I get, and I think I got one character that's really good, but I don't care about. I got that little girl. I forgot her name. She's a zombie girl or something like that.
People Chi-Chi?
Yeah, people tell me, oh, she's amazing, Jen. What are you talking about? I was like, no, I don't give a shit. I don't care.
She's not cute. Yeah. No.
Like, exactly. She's not the wife who I want. Okay. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm this close. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm this close to saying, does anybody want to trade my account to give me an account with Mona? And I'll be all right. I'll play the game like crazy. Just give me a beginning account with Mona. As a matter of fact, I might have to look that up later to see if anybody wants to just see if I can get that.
Yeah. I mean, I hear you, because I'm the same way. Like the character I wanted from playing the beta was Zhang Ling, who's not a 5-star, but I think she has a cute design. She's the short hair spear user, and her element's fire. I like her a lot. She's my main DPS. She's like my highest level character. She hits hard. Where I mean, anybody can hit hard, I guess, but she's more my style.
Like I said, like I always said, gacha games always depend on the character you play as. As long as you like playing those characters,
That's right.
that's all I care about.
And that's the thing here. And I think here is the trouble that they're going to start running into with this game is like they're going to keep introducing characters, but I feel like it's way harder. I've played other gacha games. Like I've played Dragalia Lost, which I think is really forgiving with the stuff they give you. And I've played a few others, but I feel like this game is really hard to level a character. So if like they announced a new character and I got him, I'd be like, well, I ain't leveling that character for any time soon, because you can't just play the game and enter experience. It doesn't work like that. You have to feed items to level them up, you know? So
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, I know you played the game a lot more than I have. Do you feel like the content that's in the game that is doable relatively easy without spending any other any money at all?
Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, what is in the game is awesome. But if you're a free to play player, or even if you're a whale, go slow, because it's not meant to be this game that life. Because there were definitely days where I was on vacation in California where like there were days where like that's all I did. Like no joke, I would like sleep in, play, get lunch, play, get dinner, play, the end. You know, like. But I would not recommend doing that, because once you hit the end game, there's really nothing to do. So, but what is there is super fun, and if you're free to play, you can totally complete it all, no problem. And you know, like I've said, I have a couple 5-star characters. I haven't spent more than $15. A lot of those characters are before I really even spent any money, you know. And the character, even if you get like 4-star characters, the characters are good. You just have to know how to build them. You know, it's equipping the right artifacts, and it's about combining the different elements in the game, you know? So, I mean, there aren't really any bad characters, although some would argue that like Amber is a bad character, but, yeah, so.
Because I was just worried about like power creep within the game. I don't know if you guys know what power creep is. Basically a new unit comes out, it just shits on the rest of the units, and you just want that particular unit. Let's just say like you like John or something like that. Well, another character comes out and she or he is just way better than John completely. New one come out just for the sake of people rolling on that gacha because it's a new banner. And I experienced that a lot in gacha games. That first occurred to me in Brave Frontier, and it does happen a little bit in Fate Grand Order, where some older units are just complete garbage trash, and new units is just, you want that one because it's so easy to grind with that particular character, you know? So I don't know if that's going to be a problem for Genshin Impact, but it looks like they're being really nice about it. We got to see what the next content and that next update does and see how fast people blow through it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I got to say, my incentive to spend is not on new characters. It is definitely just more on recharges to keep playing, or as Nick mentioned, maybe some skins. And you know, I had a buddy, the Smashimus in our Discord community, who played Honkai, and he said they actually did have a lot of like skins, and he sent me some swimsuit skins. So they definitely, MiHoYo has definitely done that in the past, but it'll be interesting to see how quickly they introduce those, because I follow a bunch of YouTubers that cover that game heavily and get a lot of leaked information, but so far they haven't seen any skins. It's just been tons of new characters. I mean, there's like 10 new characters that they've seen already that aren't out yet. So I think they might have to pump the brakes on the new characters and just maybe start doing skins or something.
I think they just got to make the pool of characters big enough to start doing skins.
That could be too. I mean, there's only like not even 30 characters in the game.
Are they showing skins and not different classes of characters? Because that's what I saw in Honkai Impact. I didn't know that you can just go to a unit that you already have and dress them up. Maybe there is. I don't know. I haven't.
I don't either. Well, I will say there is definitely a menu labeled skins in Genshin Impact. So, but all you can do there is change your glider. There's 2 different gliders depending on what platform you're playing on, but that's it. So
yeah, but it says, I remember when they first showed it, they said change your characters or glider skins here. So I'm like, okay, there's got to be character skins.
Okay.
I remember
Well.
reading that. I don't know. Maybe I was hallucinating when I saw that, but I remember seeing that.
But I hear what you're saying, Shadow, because that's how they did in Dragali a lot. Like they would have a character, and then they would have like a Halloween version, and it wasn't a skin; it was literally a separate character, even though it had the same name. So
no, I'm looking it up right now. Yeah, it's different skins. It's literally.
It is okay.
Yeah, it's different skins. So yeah, alternate colors.
I remember playing Tales of Link, and I had 5 different Milias, and one was like a sexy Santa, one's a sexy maid, another one is a sexy innkeeper, one was a bunny girl, and then one was regular.
Gotta get all the Milias.
It was just because it was an event. There was an event going on where it was like a Milia event, and they had all these type of character, all these different types, and I was like, okay, I'll just play it. And they're very easy to get. I don't know why she was so easy, but yeah.
Have you played Christoria at all?
I haven't touched it. I don't play games on my phone.
Nah, dude. I think for you need to try. You need to try Christoria.
I gotta try it.
It's a good tale story. I'll say that. You don't even have to dabble in the gacha. It's a really good story.
It's only mobile, right? You can't play on the computer like a web browser.
No, I don't think so. You have to download like a program or something like that, like BlueStacks or Nox Play or something like that to play it.
Gotcha.
You know what's interesting about Genshin Impact? Like, there's no cross progression, which I find pretty weird. Because, like you said, Taylor, you were playing the game like your whole vacation, but it would have been interesting if you could just play it on your console and then play on your phone whenever you want to. Just do those really quick dailies. So
I know the PC and mobile is crossplay, but the console is its own thing, from what I understand. But my phone literally, I downloaded the game and it literally was just a black screen, and my phone felt like it was melting in my hands. My phone definitely can't play it.
It's like, well, that's because your phone is like ancient.
Yeah.
Look how far you got.
iPhone 6, baby. Let's go.
Oh wow. What are you doing, bro? Come on, man.
What are they on now, right? iPhone 12?
12 just came out.
What are you
Well, you know what's funny? You know what was funny? When I was there in California, me and Nick went to the phone store. We went to the AT&T store, and Nick looked at the battery and he's like, "Your battery is dangerously degraded or whatever." And the guy's like, "I've never seen this before." But and the battery sucks. Like, I have to recharge this thing like all day. Like I can't. It has to recharge at least once a day. So it's just because I'm cheap and broke right now. That's the only reason I don't have a new phone.
I would get on you for just having an iPhone, period. But to have a 6 when 12 just came out, you were like double below. Oh my god! Wait, what kind of phone you got?
I got a Galaxy Flip, which is like a flip phone.
Oh wait a minute, was that? Oh okay, all right.
It's a smart. It's an Android Samsung Galaxy, which just bends.
Oh okay, all right. I have a OnePlus 7 Pro, by the way. I'll just say that.
A OnePlus 7 Pro. Is that what is that? Samsung?
It's an Android. It's an Android phone, but it's its own brand. It's a brand that competes with Samsung, the Galaxy phones and the iPhones, but way cheaper price. You get everything those phones offer, but at a way cheaper price. So
nice.
It's like the smarter thing to get. It's really cheap. Well, relatively cheap. It won't be like $1,200 or something like that, like an iPhone is. It'll be like
this was $1,400.
Whoa,
that's $1,400.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
No.
Let's see how much it costs right now. Let me see.
No, it can't. When did that come out? No, we're getting way off topic here.
That came out. It came out in end of February.
Oh, so it is one of those newer folding phones.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
Okay, so you might have been right. Galaxy Fold.
Yep. It was $1,450.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. Oh, so you got yourself a banger of a phone. Let me fall back.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to end up doing is just getting a SE, which is essentially, I think it has like the guts of like
an 11.
8. I think it has
an
11.
I think it's the guts of an 11. Yeah,
but it's it just doesn't look as nice. I'm like, I don't give a crap what it looks like, as long as the battery doesn't die, as long as it runs.
Yeah,
that's all
what you're paying for when it comes to those iPhones is like all those extra gadgets and like super cameras, you know?
Yeah. It depends on what you do with the phone. Like me, I can't have a phone that has bad battery life at all. No, I need good battery life. It's gonna last me all day. I want to put the brightness on max all day. All right? And that's what I like about phone. Brightness is always on max, and the phone never dies. I've never seen my phone die, like at all, because the battery life is so freaking amazing.
Nice.
It's fast as hell too. It has a 90 hertz refresh rate, which is basically 60 frames per second for phones, basically. Wow. And some phones have 120 hertz, which is 120 frames for the most part. It can go up to that amount, but man, I could never go back to having like a bad phone ever.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be life-changing. Whenever I end up getting an upgrade, I'm sure it will be life-changing. I'll be like, oh my God, my phone can sustain a charge all day. What is this?
Interesting. I want to ask you a few questions, but I don't want to get too far into it.
I walk up to you and it's like, Taylor, that's like a 4-year-old phone. I don't care.
Yeah.
All right. So, you know, this is crazy. Our last episode is when Final Fantasy 16 was first shown off.
Wow.
It's been that long. And we weren't hyped at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't feel like we were hyped. Have you looked into FF16? Have you got any more like excited about this game at all? Nope, not at all.
We each put videos out. I know I saw Shadow put a video out. Like I think the thumbnail said like no hype or something.
Yeah. I'm getting like just like out the ass for that video. But like I said, I still feel the same way. It's just right now, it's just another game coming out to me. And it's Final Fantasy, and I still feel nothing. When they get new content out, I think the next update they're gonna have is gonna be the website, which I think should have already came out and been up.
Yeah. That's what I thought too.
They said October, like late October, they were going to get out the website. I haven't seen that, but I think the next major update is coming next year. That's when I got to see more, and maybe I'll get hyped for the game, which I think people have a problem with my video saying just because I'm not hyped for the game, they think I'm thinking from what we've seen, the game is going to be bad or something like that. I'm like, no, I just don't have hype for it. I said in the video, it can change sometime down the line, and I could end up saying this game is amazing or it's one of the best Final Fantasies ever. But I'm just saying right now for this trailer, for what we got, no hype. I don't know how people misconstrued that. It's weird.
I mean, I don't disagree with you. I don't have any hype, but I have faith that the end product will be good just because of the team. Because that trailer was like, okay. I mean, me and Nick watched it together. I was like waiting for that one big moment. I was like, oh, all right, well, all right.
Exactly. It's exactly the reaction. That's it. Like, I don't know. I don't know what anybody gets hyped for this game for. I just don't get, like, we're not going to say, like, it's not going to come out and flop. I don't think they're going to pull a 13. I don't think they're going to pull a 15 on us. I think it's actually going to come out and probably, like, be like a 90 rated great game or something like that. 9 out of 10s and stuff like that. I'm just saying for what we've seen so far, it's whatever.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, I mean, until they show another trailer, my hype level will not rise. It's like simmering in the background. I'm like, when that comes out, it'll be good. Like, honestly, in a weird way, I'm more hyped for 7 Remake, which we know nothing about, literally. 7 Remake Part 2, I should say. So I also want, they've said this too, like at TGS, they were like, yeah, you know, we were rushing to get this as polished as it is. I know it didn't have a lot of highlight moments, but, you know, I love that Yoshi P in that interview was like, if we didn't show gameplay, people were going to be like, oh, see you in 2035. So I love that he's like hyper aware of like how impatient the fan base is, especially with Square Enix.
I'm sorry, I'm not even going to say impatient. They are right to be impatient about this from what we've experienced in the past.
They're just they're just used to it. That's what happens.
Yeah, yep. So it's nice that they are aware that, you know, Yoshi P is aware of this. So I don't blame him for that. I noticed that one thing. I think I said this before in the last podcast. We didn't see any like UI or interface for the game, which which if you've seen from other Final Fantasies and releasing up to the release, the UI always changes. So there's no surprise for that. But it's good that we did see some gameplay, because I definitely would have been the ones to say, to exaggerate, to joke around, to be like 2035. We'll see you in 2035 or something like that. So, but now that I've seen some gameplay, yes, I would say I wouldn't actually be surprised if it comes out next year. I wouldn't be surprised.
That's one of the rumors.
It has a good chance. So
yeah, exactly.
I made a video, and it's probably been a month now since that video came out. But when I put it out, I found this podcast from Jason Schreier, and I know people have their opinions on him, but he has good sources. And then he had this little podcast, and he's like, from people I talk to that know about the game or that have worked on the game, it's been in development for like at least 4 years. So for as much as they showed, and for them to have English voiceover and as much story as they had, like, it totally wouldn't surprise me if it was like a fall 2021 game. Like, wouldn't surprise me at all. And what I find really weird, and I don't know if we talked about this in the last podcast, but in that same event, it opened with 16, and they showed tons of gameplay and everything, but they didn't give a release date. And then they ended with literally a logo of God of War 2, and they said 2021, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's getting delayed." They didn't show anything.
Well, absolutely, yeah. That's not. Don't believe in that God of War release date. No, that's not coming out in 2021.
I love that nobody believed it. Everyone's like, "Yeah, that's 2022."
I like how people are catching on finally. Finally catching on. Yeah, I don't even pay attention to God of War that much. I know that's not like something they're gonna be like a year out to be released. God of War is extensively made and looks amazing graphically, so they got a lot of work to do. There's no way that game is coming out in 2021.
Yeah, I'd be totally shocked.
So it must be Bizarro World, because I'm actually a little hyped for this game.
Really?
Yeah.
What specifically
so
are you hyped about?
I just rewatched the trailers, and then I watched a bunch of people's reactions to those trailers, to the trailer. And then people started actually talking about what they hear and what they see in the game. And they're talking about all these connections to Final Fantasy 14 and all these like I don't know. It seemed really interesting. And then the music itself is what hyped me, because the music is really epic. I really like the final part where it's like where they're the final part of the trailer where it's all building up, and it has like the chorus going whoa, 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 whoa. It's very, I don't know. I thought it hit hard to me. I was like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. And apparently it's like there's like these themes in this song that are tying to themes in Final Fantasy 14, which is like, well, this is really, it's really interesting. Either they're reusing themes or there is a connection.
Well, I mean, they do have the main Final Fantasy theme was in there, but
oh yeah, that's how we knew it was freaking Final Fantasy. It's like, well, this is the main theme.
Yeah. I've noticed that a lot of people that are hyped for it, but the majority of people that are hyped for it, they're Final Fantasy 14 players. They play a lot of Final Fantasy 14, and I played some Final Fantasy 14 in the past. I know it's a good game, but I don't know. I just couldn't get into it that much. So, yeah.
So Final Fantasy is now turning to Ease. That's what it looks like.
Well, everybody kept saying Devil May Cry, which makes sense because it's literally got the Devil May Cry 5 battle designer or whatever.
Let's just hope that you could fly by switching characters really fast.
Yeah, you should.
Oh yeah. Yeah, speedrun hacks. That'd be awesome. Well, speaking of Ease, I mean, I'm more hyped for Ease 9 than I am for 16 right now. I'll tell you that much, because it's so close.
Almost everything. Like mostly every game coming out, every JRPG coming out next year, I'm more hyped for than Final Fantasy 16.
I want to see more Tales of Arise, man.
Yeah, I'm way more hyped for that than Final Fantasy 16. Say it's bad. Don't say it's gonna be bad. I'm just saying.
Yep.
Right.
All right, so let's move to Back of the Box.
Oh, this will be fun.
We're bringing it back. I tried to pick stuff that both of you guys would know. I don't know. I didn't want to make it unfair, so let's do one
for people that are new. Explain.
Oh yeah. So Back of the Box is I find a bunch of cover art for games, and I read the back of the box of the games. Pretty much, I just read all the text on the back, but I censor words that would give it away. and they gotta guess what game it is. And I'll give hints throughout. Like if they don't know, I'll give hints.
Okay.
So let's do one that's should be easy for you guys.
Okay.
And just to put it, I think I won last time, so I'm just saying. Step the game up, Taylor.
Time to step up.
Return to the light. Will you stand with your blank and defend the land of your birth against encroaching evil? Your strategic skill will determine the answer.
Fire Emblem Fates?
Which one?
Oh, it must be Birthright.
Okay, yep.
It says return home.
I was going to guess a tactical game, so you got it.
All right. That's one for Taylor. Okay. Blank, a human paradise, floats above the world of blank. When an ancient entity of blank origin awakens on the outskirts of blank city, paradise is threatened from within. Chosen by destiny, 6 must choose between saving mankind and saving themselves. The battle within begins.
Oh, this is Final Fantasy 13.
Ah!
I was like, it sounds like, yeah.
I was like, at first, I'm like, is that Xenoblade 2? Maybe? I'm like, a floating city.
Blank, 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 blank.
Yeah, right.
All right. Number 3. Strategy RPGs are about to get a serious kick in the ass. A huge hit in Japan, Blank follows the misadventures of the young prince Blank and his ragtag army as they battle blank blank for the supremacy over the blank.
This has got to be Disgaea 1.
Yep.
And Chad is the Disgaea guy. Come on now.
Think about it for a second. I was thinking about possible games. That's what I was thinking about. But
strategy RPGs are about to get a kick in the ass. Is that what it said?
Yeah.
This is the first one, man. Featuring the song "The Invasion from Within" by Tsunami Bomb. All right, let's see. Oh, I don't even think this is okay. I don't know why I even have this one. The story continues where it all began.
That's all we got.
The story continues where it all began. What is that? Is that a Xenoblade game?
The events leading up to blank are revealed. Defeat your foes using the power of blank.
Friendship?
If I said that would totally give it away.
Not really.
Tales of Princess?
No.
Tales of Berseria.
Not a Tales game.
Not Tales game.
Return where it all began. Is that what it is? What did you say? What was the first quote?
The story continues where it all began.
Final Fantasy VII Remake?
No.
It continues where it all began.
If you guys are completely lost, I could give you a hint.
I'm trying to. There's obviously a sequel.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like the second game in the series, something like that. Okay. Is it a current gen game?
No.
Okay, that helps.
That's PS4, Xbox One. That's one. So,
yeah, so, no, not for that.
All right, so says not a Tales game.
Not a Tales game.
Okay, give us another hint.
Came out in 2007.
God, a lot of shit came out in 2007.
Okay, so this is
it has to be like an Xbox PS3 game.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what JRPGs came out then. Okay, read the other quotes again.
The events leading up to blank are revealed. Defeat your foes using the power of blank.
The events leading up to blank are revealed. Valkyrie Chronicles?
No.
Hmm.
It is a handheld game.
Huh. Oh, Crisis Core?
There you go.
Wow.
Wait, with the power of what? Materia?
Materia.
Uh,
I mean, it sounds like defeat your foes using the power of friendship.
That would be all too perfect.
Yeah. All too perfect. All right, this one's gonna be...
Taylor's really ahead.
You got that goose egg. Come on, Shadow. Gotta step it up.
I'm giving you this W for the last time.
Okay. I don't know which one which thing's the censor, so... A story of mercenaries who long to become knights. The mainland of the
last story.
That's so generic. How did you know?
Because I remember I wrote that exact line in my review. That's the whole premise of the game is like they wanted to become knights.
I did not like that game.
Yeah, it was okay.
Never played it.
Also, could you have picked a worse name from the guy who made Final Fantasy? I mean, come on. Conclusive Tale. I can't wait for Conclusive Tale.
All right. A man without a past fights for a world without a future. From famed creator Blank comes a revolutionary RPG experience rich in depth, emotion, and cinematic gameplay. In an age that has harnessed the dark power of magic, you are the mysterious immortal Blank on a quest to reclaim...
Okay.
There's only one game where they're immortal. That's Lost Odyssey.
At first, I was going to say Nier, because I was like, that sort of sounds like the original Nier, but not even close.
Not even close. All right. The cinematic RPG. One of them is a police officer. The other is
Chain? Oh, no.
The other is possessed by an ancient evil threatening all life on Earth. The horrifying bond between them will continue until something dies.
What the hell?
Is it a Shin Megami Tensei game?
It is not.
I'm trying to think of any JRPG where you're a cop. I mean, Parasite Eve's the only one I can think of. Parasite Eve? Really? Wow. Wow.
I don't even know if this is the real back box art, but it's a box art with a back of the back, so gotta put it. All right. Good luck with this one. Oh wait, you might even know this. The adventure of Blank and Blank's dreams. Join the Blank in an hilarious action RPG that bridges the world of Blank and then possible landscapes of Blank's imagination.
Oh, I know this. Eternal Sonata.
Yeah.
You know why I know this? You know why I know this?
What?
I'm making a video right now on the top PS3 JRPGs, and I was just reading all about Eternal Sonata.
Well, people, it is not Eternal Sonata.
I've never even played it, but the game, what the game is, it's literally Chopin's fever dream before he dies. That's what the game is. And so it's about his life and his music, and it like blends stuff together. Yeah,
it's not Eternal Sonata.
Oh, it's not Eternal Sonata?
This is Eternal Sonata.
It's not Eternal Sonata.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah,
Right.
I could have say it was. Read it back again.
The adventure of Blanks and Blank's dreams. Join the Blanks in a hilarious action RPG that bridges the world of Blank and then possible landscapes of Blank's imagination.
And it's a hilarious action RPG.
It's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
Is it Hyper Dimension Neptunia?
No. It's a game that you guys have probably never played.
Oh, well, great.
But you should know. You might know about it.
Okay. I mean, if we haven't played it, how niche could it possibly be? This has got to be pretty niche if neither of us have played it.
I've played it.
You've played it. Okay. It's an action RPG. Okay. And it's hilarious. And something about dreams.
I'm stumped. I don't know.
Is it Mario and Luigi Dream Team?
Yes, it is.
That's not a. That is not a.
It
has
has
JRPGs. That ain't no JRPG.
It has RPG on the box.
That ain't no JRPG. Nah, that's not a JRPG. Ain't no Paper Mario game. No art. No bar. Get out of here, man. That don't count.
All right. That's a toss up. That's gonna be the tiebreaker. The battle for an ancient relic begins with the hunt for the blank. Adrift on the endless raging ocean, Blank and his blank find themselves drawn ashore on a mysterious ship known as the
No.
What?
Geese 8?
No. Known as the blank, it is an ancient relic that conceals countless dangers, including those who lie in wait for Blank. To save his Blank and his party uncover the deepest secrets of the legendary ship, and in the process discover the ties that bind them all. Take strength from friendship, take pride in love, take everything that you believe in and turn it all into power.
I was gonna say Xenoblade 2, but there's nothing to do with a ship in Xenoblade 2. I'm gonna guess Xenoblade 2 just because.
No.
Not Xenoblade 2. Okay. A ship. I'm trying to think about anything that has to do with a ship. This is a guess, but Rogue Galaxy?
I was thinking Rogue Galaxy too. And I was like, nah, I can't.
A ship.
On the ocean.
So it's an ocean.
Skies of Arcadia?
Nope.
A ship. Help.
The battle for... this might give it away for someone. The battle for an ancient relic begins with a hunt for the Marinus.
I got nothing. Meredith. What the fuck is a Meredith?
Came out in 2005.
2005. Okay, so it's at least a PS2 game. Ship and a PS2.
I have no fucking clue.
I'm gonna just make a blind guess. Star Ocean 3.
Nope.
Okay.
I want to say Arc the Lad. I don't freaking know.
We've talked about it today.
We've talked about it today.
God, I got bad memory. What the hell did we talk about today?
Oh, Tales of Legendia.
It is.
That was just a guess.
Yeah, the whole game is on a ship, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Okay.
No, I knew that would be confusing because of all that. All right.
Tales of Legendia was good. I don't know what anybody talking about. The game was good. I had a lot of good ideas. I like that game.
Prepare to battle the hordes of the blank in blistering action RPG combat. When high school student Blank encounters the nightmare realm known as Blank, his world is forever changed. Reality distorts. It is.
That's what I figured.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Were you going?
I was gonna say Persona 5 Scramble, but there's not even a box for that, so that doesn't even make sense. Or at least not in English. Oh, I should have known. That's like one of my favorite games.
I know.
I was about to say, isn't that your top 10?
It is.
I get that.
Should have known it.
All right. This is my way to live. Blank, a rage-filled Blank who has everything taken from her, will enter a kingdom that now knows order due to a deliverance of the Messiah.
So it's a female protagonist, presumably. What's the line about rage or something? What is that?
A rage-filled Blank.
Tales of Berseria?
Ah.
Yeah.
Go.
Keep it going.
Gotta keep it going.
What's the score at right now?
Taylor has like
I
6.
think you have like 6. Yeah, 6. I have
then
like that was
3.
my third one.
Yeah, you have 3.
Okay.
Okay. Restore the true history. In the midst of the unending war, Blank leads a mission that goes horribly awry. However, with the mystical Blank, he discovers a way to go to the intersection of time itself. Blank.
Radiant Historia.
There you go.
Mm,
Yeah.
never played it. I know it has time travel, but I probably
Yeah.
could have taken a stab at that one. But there's only 2 JRPGs I know of that are heavily involved with time.
Yeah, exactly. Trigger in that game. Radiant Historia.
Yep.
Let's go. It's easy on this one. Quite possibly the greatest game ever made.
Oh, Final Fantasy 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that quote vividly. It's a quote. It's nothing to do about like them describing. It's a quote, right, from like a game magazine or something.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah,
I was
it's like
this
Game Pro or something.
Game Fan magazine.
Game Fan. Yep.
All right.
Quite possibly.
Quite possibly. Yeah. There's an argument to be had.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's gonna be easy. Hunt your Blank. Face your fears in this ancient city where danger, death, and madness lurk around every corner. Uncover the city's darkest secrets in order to survive.
The city's darkest secrets.
We talked about this game too today.
Is it a Final Fantasy game?
No.
What game? What? Huh?
Trying to think of any game we've talked about that takes place in a city.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. What? Place in the AC. A lot of JRPGs.
Can you say it one more time?
Oh, I already closed it.
How dare you?
Hunt your Blank. Face your fears in the ancient city where danger, death, and madness lurk around every corner and uncover the city's darkest secrets in order to survive.
The only game that it sounds like is not out though, but that sounds like Ys 9.
It is not.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. Because I know Ys 9 is all in like that prison city, but we've talked about this game. A city with madness. Oh,
I just know
Bloodborne.
Yeah. I just know. Yeah, it is.
Bloodborne.
I don't know what to say. I just know that Brandon's gonna be mad at me for doing that one.
Come on, no. Hell, give me a JRPG. Stop this. Hey, that JRPG.
Okay, here.
The Bloodborne, the Souls as JRPGs. They can be classified as such, but I don't count it. But
You arrive at Thor's military academy now.
I'll do something just like that. All right. Wield the power of the Judgment Ring and fulfill your destiny.
Shadow Hearts.
You shouldn't have said Judgment Ring. That's so obvious. That's like saying materia almost.
It was.
You could probably bleep out the judgment part. Probably would have.
I did what Taylor did. I just said the easiest thing for you. So he has 4. You have 9. I don't have one. Discover the secret that will unravel an empire. Oh,
I think I should know what this is.
as war looms on the horizon, the mighty Blank begins a campaign to subjugate its neighbors. The small kingdom of Blank was one such neighbor, and it is here that our tale begins. In a fight for freedom, fallen royalty and unlikely allies must struggle to liberate their homeland, trace the mystery behind the Empire's invasion, and unmask the players. Unmask the players in a drama of justice and betrayal.
Whoa.
Tales of the Abyss?
No.
No. Cold Steel?
No.
Cold Steel 2?
No.
Cold Steel 3?
Is it any Legend of Heroes game?
It is not.
Okay. It's something about invading empires and taking off masks and things. I'm trying to think of games that have
No masks.
What about Final Fantasy? Wait, there's no masks. Wait,
masks.
say the last little line again.
Unmask the players in a drama of justice and betrayal.
You just said no mask.
There's no masks.
You said unmask.
Yeah, but it's like there's no mask. It means discover the. Come on.
Final Fantasy 15.
Ooh, that's a good guess.
Warmer. No, but warmer.
Final Fantasy 13. Final Fantasy 12.
Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah.
10 would have been a good guess, or 15 was a good guess because
That was
kind of that's what that game's about too.
One of the most generic boxes ever. Probably because there's so many games now that have that stinking storyline.
Yeah, that's what it sounds really familiar. Empire invading. Empire is usually bad guys. Usually.
Bonds of friendship are eternal. Follow Blank and his friends as they toss their bonds of friendship and unravel the mystery behind this War of the Kingdoms.
More of the. Oh, well, I was gonna say Grace is it Grace's F?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm like kingdoms. I don't remember there being warring kingdoms, but that was definitely a friendship, power friendship.
I mean, yeah, freaking Tales of Graces is like the ultimate power of friendship.
Yeah,
That is the most. That is the game.
Well, yeah, I don't hate the game, but I hate that story. The story of the game, I hate it completely. Hate that story, that friendship crap.
You are my friend.
Yeah, I hate that. You, my friend, we can make it through this because we're friends. I'm like, yo, how did you think that was a good idea? That was a played out moniker when it first came out. I think that was a good idea.
I love how in Xenoblade 2 they're just straight up like, we'll beat them with the power of friendship.
Freaking.
Yeah, that's true. That's exactly how it goes.
All right, we're going to some questions now. Ned993 asks, has there ever been an enemy design in both JRPGs and other games that have outright scared and creeped you out?
The only one that comes to mind immediately is, I don't know what the name of it is, but it's this enemy in Resident Evil 4 that the only way you can hit them is with using the little infrared scope.
The regenerator.
And they like yeah, because they're like,
yeah,
like the way they move and the way they breathe is just so freaky. Like even on like PS2 graphics, it's still freaky.
Yeah, I remember running into that. That was really
And it's so hard, and you can miss the infrared too. So
yeah.
That's really terrifying. I think all the monsters, like, well, I'd say the atmosphere, but all the monsters of Dead Space 2 is really just, they freak me out. Well, at first, now I can play the game no problem, but at first it was really, those monsters were grotesque and they look crazy. What else?
In Dead Space 1, because I don't think they're in Dead Space 2, but in Dead Space 1, there's those monsters, but they got like hit with some like time juju, and they're all like freaking like super fast and twitchy and everything, and it's really off-putting.
Yeah, I was talking about, yeah, it looks disturbing as hell.
And it just like they move really fast, and it's just like, ugh, it's weird.
I love that.
Oh, oof, yeah. You know who else I really hated was the spider lady boss in Evil Within, because she kind of moves kind of funkily and it's really dark in the arena you fight her. Oh, I don't like her. Anything that moves like abnormally, I don't like.
And I think she has breathing too. She's like, right?
Yeah, she
has that weird
freaky.
breathing. That man, I remember playing that game on stream, and I was playing on the hardest difficulty, which is extremely unfair, by the way. That game breaks when it's on that difficulty. And I was doing that one spider lady part for like an hour and a half, and I was getting so pissed off. Because she wouldn't die. Because you have to burn her, and you don't have anything to burn her, so you have to like trick her to run into like traps to burn her.
That's right, yep.
Oh.
It sounds like my time that I had with Resident Evil 3 Remake. And I put it on the hardest difficulty or the next to hardest difficulty. The last boss was just cheap. Just absolutely cheap. It's the worst possible way to make a boss. And all they did was speed up the boss. That's all they did. They literally turned the speed up from like 2 to like 8, and that's all it is. It's nothing else. It's so terrible.
They made it so fast that you can't even dodge it and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. You had to dodge. If he hit you once, he was gonna hit you with a follow-up attack, and that was gonna kill you. So it was just ridiculously cheap. Like they didn't know how to balance that game at all.
Damn it, Taylor! Why'd you do that?
It's all my fault.
But
It's all my fault.
Have you guys ever played Siren Blood Curse on the PS3?
I've watched you play it a lot. I've never actually played it myself, though.
So you know they're like creepy like zombies and they like talk and everything. But it's all about the entire story is about a time loop. It's a time loop. So when you're near the end of the game, the zombies are now turning into like bug creatures. So like their bodies are like trying to like deform and everything. And I just remember one of them was like their head was gone and it was just a bunch of like tentacle eyes. And I was like, oh my god, that's so freaky. And it was just like the creepiest thing in the world. This was a bunch of like black. It was a bunch of tentacles and a bunch of black dots everywhere, and a bunch of black dots kind of freaks me out. I don't know if that's called. That's a phobia. I know that is.
A bunch of black dots.
Yeah, just imagine like a bunch of holes in like a bunch of tiny holes in something somewhere. It just freaks me out for some reason. I don't know why. Next. Will asks, Kreppelin, should fans embrace the idea that Final Fantasy reinvents itself with every entry, or are they justified in their complaints that it's not like this or that entry in the series?
So he's okay. Because I feel like some of the biggest backlash with 16 was, wow, I can't believe it's not turn-based. I know we've had that conversation before, but maybe a conversation to have now is what does that even mean to be a Final Fantasy game? Just a name? Like what are the elements that that makes it a Final Fantasy game? Is it just it's an RPG with Moogles and Chocobos? Like
I think that's all it is now, is just the Final Fantasy theme. That's all it is.
I think there was always a point where I could tell when it was a Final Fantasy game. I don't know why, but I think it's definitely lost that edge.
I think starting with 12, I feel like it started to like kind of lose that identity a little bit. And I love 12, but I feel like from 7 to 10, they all have like a similar like intangible like vibe to them. We're like, yeah, that's a Final Fantasy game, whether it's the music or maybe it's because they all had turn-based combat, or I don't know what it is, but those all seem to share a certain DNA. But after starting with 12, it was like way different. 13 was way different. 15 was way different. So
that's when they started to try to appeal to everyone else instead of just Japan.
Which makes sense, I guess.
But as we said before, don't ever expect mainline Final Fantasy to be turn-based ever again. It's never happening.
Yep. Yeah. If you're a Final Fantasy fan, then you just have to expect that each game's going to be different. But it's just going to have Moogles and Ifrits and Shivas and potions and dragoons and black mages. So,
pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Spaghetti asks, what's one gaming trend you hope changes with the next generation?
I don't know. It'd be nice for like loot boxes to not be so prevalent in some single player games, I guess.
No more gacha games.
No, not in consoles.
That's not going to happen. Yeah. If anything, I feel like because of Genshin Impact's success, people are going to try to design games like that. Like, let's blend a AAA game with a gacha game and see if we can get people to pay more.
I was thinking about that soon. I think Genshin Impact is going to set the wrong example, especially about how much money it made.
Like, can you imagine if there was like an open world action game, but like with a Dissidia labeling? Like, imagine if it was called like Dissidia World or something. I'm just making this up, but like it played like a really high quality action game, but then you just are constantly rolling for Final Fantasy characters. Like that would probably make a lot of money.
I'm pretty sure Square is probably making that right now. I'm pretty sure they're trying to make it.
If not, they need to be making Final Fantasy Warriors. It's like, what? I can't believe that game hasn't been made yet. That's shocking to me. It's like so ripe for it. You know what I mean? There's so many characters.
Or maybe,
I think that's what the city is for.
Or they make something called Final Fantasy Tactics. And
that's a trend I hope changes. Square Enix not making Final Fantasy Tactics. I want that trend to end.
They could also, I mean, they could make a Final Fantasy. Haven't they like made a Final Fantasy Tactics game where it's like it's online and it's a gacha game, so you could get characters from every single game, but it's a tactics game.
It's called like War of the Visions or something like that.
Is that? I mean, I know that it has Ramza and stuff in it, but does it have characters from every Final Fantasy in it?
Not every. They do this thing where like every so often they'll do banners with specific games. So when the game launched, they had a banner with Final Fantasy 14 characters, and I know they did one with Tactics, but I don't know if they've done one with like 12 or 7 or whatever.
I haven't seen much of the game, but I don't think they have.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. So a gacha tactics game. Can you see that? That's more in depth than the Fire Emblem game.
You know what trend I hope ends, and this is very specific. I hope that Bandai Namco stops taking every anime license and just turning them into, arena brawlers. Because it's like if we just get the same games over and over and over again, and like, Fairy Tail wasn't perfect, but that was like totally the step in the right direction. It's like give them a little bit more time, maybe a little bit more of a budget. And that could have been something really special. And same thing with like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Like I feel like I didn't play it, but from everything I've heard, it's like it's good, but it's the same old thing, same old story. Nothing really all that surprising. So like I just hope they take that license instead of like having to churn a game out every year. They're like, we're gonna take 3 years and make a really good like My Hero Academia RPG or something. Because even like the what's that Devil or Demon Slayer? Not Demon Slayer. What's that really popular anime?
Demon Slayer.
It's Demon Slayer.
That's not. No, because it's Goblin Slayer, and then there's Demon. Is it Demon Slayer?
Pretty sure it's Demon Slayer. That's definitely anime.
Okay, yeah, Demon Slayer. Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. But they announced an arena brawler for that. It's like,
they did.
Yeah, and it's man, like that would be a perfect action RPG. So that's what I hope ends is them just dumping out generic anime games that are super low effort. Like, give us something quality.
I mean, all you want something quality, but it doesn't really matter because it's gonna sell anyway.
That's the thing that's really frustrating is people buy it anyway. But then, like Dragon Ball FighterZ, that was of all the anime licensed games of the entire generation, that probably sold the best, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe a Pirate Warriors game or something.
It did sell the best. Yeah, I think it did. But I think at the same time, something happened with the player base or something like that. Maybe that was just on PC. The player base just went down, just plummeted after a while.
Oh, it just the typical fighting game syndrome where all the newbies got in and like, oh, it's awesome, and then they all disappeared.
Yeah,
they played it. And then the diehard stayed, so it's really hard to get in because you just get your butt kicked.
Exactly. Well, yeah, it'd be nice to have like a Dragon Ball FighterZ type effort on an anime game, but it's just that, especially Bandai Namco, they don't give a damn. They do not care. It's like, yeah, we're gonna make this arena fighter, and you're still gonna buy it anyway, and we don't. We're gonna make our money, and we don't care. Like, and the thing about it is, like, they can't make these games like super in depth because the people that are playing them, they're more of maybe casual gamers or people who just want to play a game that's based off the anime. They don't want a game that's too difficult to play or a high difficulty learning curve or anything like that. They want to just plus A and combo or R2 and combo, R2 and X4 combo or whatever like that. So they can't make them more in depth.
And then see some sick ass action.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good point.
You know what they need to do? They just need to make a Persona clone of My Hero Academia.
Dude, that would be awesome. I would eat that shit up.
I would definitely eat that up.
I mean, I think and to go back to Koei Tecmo for a minute, they're doing Fairy Tail, but they also made a couple Attack on Titan games that, from what I understand, they're not like amazing, but they're better than the typical Bandai Namco, stuff where it's like you get to run around with your little maneuver gear and kill Titans and stuff. It's almost a Warriors game in a way, but it seemed cool. Like I feel like Koei Tecmo was like trying stuff.
Yeah,
and they just don't have the biggest budgets.
Yeah.
From Frenzer, which one do you think is more important for a JRPG? A. Gameplay, battle system. B. Story.
What's more important? That's a great question.
I don't know. I don't know what overall is more important, and I know a lot of the people will probably say story, but I know for me personally, I like a good battle system and gameplay. But I know at this point for Legend of Heroes, I'm playing for the story for the most part. It has a good battle system, but I'm definitely playing for the story. But yeah, for me, I'd say it's a gameplay battle. Like
if a JRPG has a story like of the Karate Kid, very simple, cheesy, but decent. If the gameplay's really good, I think I would still play it.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. Like, if it has really great gameplay, it definitely elevates it. But I feel like the games that stick with me longer are like the marriage of the two, or have a really great story. Because I'm sitting here thinking about like games I put on my top 10 list. It's all because, or most of them are because of like the characters and the story, and the gameplay happens to be pretty good too. But there are almost none that are like pure gameplay, So, with the exception of like Ys 8. Ys 8 is probably the only game on my top 10 list that is like pure gameplay over story. But other than that, the Persona games, Final Fantasy, I don't know. I guess I would value story more. Obviously, you can't have a bad gameplay or battle system, but story sticks with me longer, I guess.
I don't know. You could have some bad gameplay and still enjoy it.
I can't. If you got bad gameplay, I'm not playing a game. I might as well be reading a visual novel at that point. I'm not playing a game. If you got a bad battle system, I'm not playing it.
So here's my one example is Dragon Quest XI. That's another game that's on my top 10 list. I think that battle system is borderline archaic. There's nothing dynamic about it. It's not interesting. It's just like they have this move. It's just turn-based. It's super old school. Yeah. But other games like Persona and Cold Steel and, have done interesting things. Octopath Bravely have done interesting things with turn-based, and Dragon Quest XI is just bare bones. But because those characters in that world is so fun to explore, and the story and those characters are what elevated that game for me, and I just put up with the gameplay, I guess.
I think that's the exact opposite for me. I don't think I was too interested in Dragon Quest XI story. I just like the old school gameplay, I guess.
Really? Wow.
I just like the classic turn-based gameplay. Really simplistic and really straightforward, to the point. I really the story was good and it was kind of memorable, but I like the gameplay. I'm a gameplay creature above all else too. So yeah.
I mean, when generally speaking with games, it's totally gameplay, but with JRPGs specifically, I would say story. But I hear you. I mean, like, gameplay is important.
Yeah, if I'm going to be
a game after all.
Exactly. If I'm going to be sitting around for like 60, 80, 100 hours, I better like playing the fucking game. That's why I don't understand anybody who plays JRPGs. They don't like the game, but they still finish the game. I'm like, yeah, I'm not wasting my damn time. It's not happening. I'm not wasting my time. I don't like the game at all. You're still gonna play it? Like, no.
Yep.
Because maybe they think that they're going to start liking it.
I think the person said that they hated the Tales of Hysteria from front to end, and they still kept playing it. I was like, why? Just drop it. It's not worth your time.
Yep, that's what I did. I dropped it. I couldn't finish it.
I mean, you can't finish any Tales game, Taylor.
I finished. You know what's really weird? I beat a Tales game that you haven't.
Oh
yeah, Xillia too.
I gotta be honest. The more that I think about that game, that might be my favorite Tales game. As weird as that sounds.
Yeah, the Xillia games were pretty strong. They were pretty strong. There was some problems with Xillia too. Not to be.
They recycle areas and gate off story content because you need to do certain things. But I love the characters. I loved how you could swap weapons with the main character.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was really, really weird that he was a mute, like he doesn't speak until you beat the game. And
dumb.
It makes sense why they do that, but it's like
Why?
You could have.
Why?
I mean, I'm going to totally spoil it if I say this, though.
Care how old is this game? Like,
I mean, it's pretty
there's
old.
Like, there's no remake or remaster on the horizon. Like,
all right, so here we go. We're gonna spoil it, but we're gonna have the Final Fantasy Tactics death sound over it. So go.
So you're this character, Luger, I think is the name of the main character, and at some point you meet this character, I think her name is Elle, and you're trying to find her dad, and then you meet her dad, and then there is some time something where it turns, and I guess if the main character is voiced, and like, wait a minute, isn't that just? I think that's the rationale for why they did it, because the twist would be so obvious. That's my only possible thought for why they did it. And it's a pretty big twist in the game because, like, most of the game is you're trying to get this girl back home or whatever.
See, they should have made the other Ludger sound like deeper.
Yeah, like change his voice, put a mask, something. Like there were ways around it. I was like, that's why you did that? Okay.
That wasn't a good idea.
No, agreed.
Okay, that's just not a good idea. There's no point in making him mute.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, see, that's the only Tales game that I haven't beaten. That Taylor has beaten.
Didn't you say you haven't? Oh, I think you were replaying Legendia.
Yeah, I was replaying. I was messing with Legendia to write a script on it.
Okay.
And then I was gonna do the same thing with Hysteria. All right. With Josiah Taku asks, with Sony axing backwards compatibility, do you think we will see a horde of ports like the PS3 Vita had, or a scarce of ports like the PS4?
He needs to explain what he means, because isn't the PS5 backwards compatible with PS4?
Like, that's what I was thinking.
I think what he means. I think what he means is when Sony's store is getting rid of all the PS3 and Vita and PS1 classics on the web store.
Okay.
So I think that's what he meant.
Oh.
So the only way to download them and play them now is on the console, on the Vita, on the PSP, and on the PS3.
Well, his question was, do we think we're going to see remasters like we did last gen? I mean, definitely. Yeah, I mean, 100%. Get ready to buy Resident Evil 4 for the 5th time.
Skyrim.
Yeah, Skyrim. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's definitely going to happen. I mean, and they're already doing that. Like, I think, but I will say there have been talks lately that like they're patching old PS4 games to run better in preparation for PS5. So I guess like load times for games like Last of Us and God of War are like way down. So I think it's gonna be a mix. Like they're gonna patch games so they'll run better, but also they're gonna do 4K 60 I don't know what stupid thing they could possibly make up to make you want to buy it again, but they're definitely coming.
It's definitely gonna be remasters and stuff like that for it. I think they said the entire, like, most of the PS4 library is backwards compatible with PS5, right?
Yeah. There's like, I think you're right. There's like 10, 12 games that don't work, and they're all really obscure games.
Right, and you can't play PS3 games. Yeah, that's just for re-releases. Yeah, that's gonna be for re-release. Or they're just gonna have them as downloads.
I just want them to
have downloads.
They better bring back PS1 classics, not PS2 classics.
Why? It's like they stopped that on PS4. Like I remember there was like a big deal for it, and maybe like a month or two it was really like they were drip feeding us the games, but they just stopped outright. Like I remember the last game was like Rogue Galaxy or Star Ocean that they added to PS4, and that was it. Nothing else. I was like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, that was weird because they also came with trophies, which was really neat too. It was like for people that are into trophies, but. I don't know. I don't know what the deal with that was, or why they just stopped for no reason.
Probably maybe went to different developers, asked them if they can do it, and it was like, no, we're probably gonna do a remaster sometime down the line, 5, 6, 8 years from now. We don't want you to do that.
Yeah.
But they didn't know what they were gonna do it, but they don't want them re-releasing the game.
Yeah. I don't get it. From Surreal Killer. Hey guys, love the show. I'm 34, have 2 kids, and a soul-sucking office job all the way in Nova Scotia, Canada. I have more time to listen to your podcast on my commute than I do to play games with my free time. The last month, I've been binge listening to your show from episode 1 to 50. I'm dreading when I'm caught up and need to wait for a new episode. You may have already talked about this later on, but I'm new to GSP and wasn't aware of LHG. Can you guys give us a history lesson on the show and how it came to be? Thanks so much for the great show. I can't stress how much I appreciate a like-minded community as I get older and find even fewer JRPG fans. Okay, so here's a continuation. Just listen to episode 55. You answered my question. Oops.
Oh, okay. Well, there you
go. There you go.
As a follow-up, how do you feel the show has come over the last 4 years? Your guys' personalities sell the show. Can you give us updates on your guys' personal lives, where the show is going next? Thanks. Well, the show is definitely way different from when we started.
Yeah, because we used to do, Maddie and Connor used to be on. We used to do it live. Then Shadow came on. So, it's definitely evolved. Where it's going, I don't know. I keep saying we should go back and do more spoiler casts. I think that would be fun. The tricky part is we need to all beat
Cold Steel. I know.
Or not Cold Steel. Cold Steel. But we all have to beat the same game at the same time, which usually doesn't happen. Like one of us doesn't finish it, or stuff just gets in the way.
Well, one of us doesn't have a fancy YouTube channel and gets the game 2 weeks early,
Yeah, who's that? Who's that asshole? I don't know who that is. I know. That's what I was just gonna say. Is like I have to wait for a lot of people to finish the game. So there's some people that have come to me and asked about Cold Steel 4 spoiler cast. I was like, I want to do it. I'll look do it, but we gotta wait. So I was giving them like maybe end of November or mid-November at the most. Just no way.
Yeah.
Like Nick, I want you on for it too. I want a couple other people on as well. So we gotta wait until they're finished with the game.
It's gonna be like 200 hours.
You don't want Cold Steel's #1 fan on though?
Oh man. Yeah.
I don't know how with this. I don't know. The podcast is growing. It's growing slowly, but it's growing. A lot of people are coming onto the Discord, and we're getting a lot of listens on the podcast part. On iTunes and all that stuff. YouTube is just slowly getting 1 subscriber every week or something like that. I've done everything I can. I don't know what else I could do. I've started to do the clips and everything. I don't know how to really advertise the podcast. I feel like I'm
I do a little more advertising myself, but like I said, I haven't been uploading that much at all lately. So I really need to shout out the podcast when I can myself.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But I'm just trying to get it out there, put it on. I don't know where to put it. I don't want to get, because if I put it somewhere, I'm going to get yelled at by the community, and that's just I don't want to go through that.
And what's weird is I'm looking at the channel and the clips, weirdly enough, have a sizable amount of dislikes for whatever reason.
They always do.
I don't know why they do, but to me, that's the best way to advertise, or to at least get extra views, is to do clips. And the spoiler casts always bring in a lot of extra views. Like the Final Fantasy VII spoiler cast has 1,000 views, which is really good for the show. So yeah, I would say
and that's only for the YouTube.
Yeah, that's also true. Yeah. So my thoughts are: 1, we probably need to be better at being consistent, and then keep the clips going, and then do more spoiler casts when we can. Unfortunately, we're at the whims of whatever JRPGs come out, and not all of them are going to be are going to warrant a spoiler cast. I don't think people are going to be dying for an Atelier Ryza 2 spoiler cast. You know what I mean? So So I don't know. Maybe he's 9, but
We
I
can do
just
that.
don't know.
I mean, I could do spoiler cast for old games, but I know you guys don't want to play older games because it's like those are in the past and you don't have time to do that.
Yeah, it's tougher.
It's just hard. It's hard to find time because I remember like I could do one on like Grandia. I remember that game like the back of my hand. But
Ooh, Grandia. There's only like a really small handful of games that I beat either a lot or I know really well that I could do that with. But I mean, maybe that's something to ask. Like, there's a question. What do you got? Would you guys want to listen to old spoiler cast for like classic games? Let us know.
I mean, I could still do. I don't think I did a Persona 5 Royal spoiler cast. I would like to do that. Get some people and do something for that. I know you beat it, right, Nick?
Yeah, I beat it.
Yeah, so yeah.
And I enjoyed it. I guess I when I was playing it, I didn't remember what was new and what was old. It was cool because I was like, is this new? Is that old? Because I forgot a lot of stuff. And I played it when it first came out, so it was kind of weird because I usually remember everything about that game.
I pretty much remembered everything.
I think what threw me off is that they changed some dialogue around. They redubbed a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
So, like, it was the same thing, but it was like better, but like retranslated, I guess. Because Persona 5 had a bad translation. You remember that old fiasco?
I don't even understand what that was about. I didn't think it had a bad translation at all.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. I was like, what? It had
There was like this whole. I remember it was like there was this whole like hate mob saying that the translation was awful, and I was like,
I remember there's like
what?
moments in the game that had like questionable translation issues, but I remember the whole thing being bad.
Yeah, I mean, neither. It wasn't like Ys 8 bad.
Yeah, it wasn't like Fire Emblem Fates bad. Like
people really hated Fire Emblem Fates. I've come to learn.
But no, that translation was terrible. They butchered characters. They just like completely rewrote character backstories. That was
that
horrible.
Sucks.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Oh. I remember that controversy as well. Where do the show is going next? I think it's just going to be this. Like, I wanted to make it more consistent, and I was thinking of doing like once a month a live episode. But that's all up to you guys. I just don't know, like, if I could find time to do that. But I thought that would be fun because we used to do live episodes all the time, and like once a month, so it won't do it like busy our schedule up. But it's all up to. It's hard to get everyone scheduled together.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
One more question. Now that Sean is playing through all the Cold Steel games, are you going to do a spoiler cast with him?
And Sean being Sean Chiplock, who voices Reen Schwarzer, I think is who he's referring to.
Yes.
But I mean, that's up to you guys. I'm not going to play Cold Steel 4, so that's up to you guys.
I would love to.
Yeah,
play that everything. So I'm a game.
I would be interested to hear the spoiler cast just from his perspective, just to hear like what it was like landing that role and then how the character has evolved. Because I got to imagine that's probably the character he's voiced for the longest amount of time. Like, I mean, he's been doing Rain for what, 5-6 years now, something like that.
Yeah, I think 20. Yeah, no, long 20. What, 14, 15? When did Cold Steel 1 come out? On Vita, wasn't that like 2016 or 2015?
I think it was 2016, 2015 because I was in that room over there. I wasn't in this room, and that's when I first moved back. I think it was 2015. It could be even. It could be even earlier.
Let's see here. So in North America, it released on PS3 and Vita in December of 2015.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 2015, yeah.
And then PS4. Wow, that wasn't that long ago. March of 2019. Wow.
The PS4 versions,
yeah. PS version just came out. Yeah, in preparation for like I think 3 and 4, I believe.
Do you remember grilling Sean on 3? We were like, so you guys are recording for 3, right? It's like, I don't know anything about that. I mean, I don't even know if XC's gonna have it. You might be going to Nippon Ichi, and we're like,
Did he say that?
Yeah,
Specifically?
I think he mentioned Nipponichi, and he says like I don't have any control. We might not be there if it goes to a different publisher or anything like that, and there might be a whole new voice cast. We're like, no, don't do that. Don't call it Nipponichi. And then what happens?
They went over.
It was fine though.
And then they're like,
most of the cast.
And they're like, the entire cast, most of the cast is coming back. We're like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, thank God. They changed the cast. That would have been bad. That would have been really bad.
Okay, we can do one more. Josiah Otaku asks, towards the end of the year, I usually play a horror game, and I'm thinking about playing Resident Evil Director's Cut. Although I plan to play it off my PlayStation Classic, which has built-in save states. Should I play their way originally intended with limited saves in the game, or is there nothing wrong with using built-in save states in moderation?
No. Do not use save states. You pay it like the original. No. No save states, my friend. You play it. It's made so you have to survive that. You have to conserve your ammo, conserve your ink ribbons, conserve your health items. Do not play with save states. Unless you're that, and you can admit to yourself you're that freaking terrible. Do not play with save states. Okay? All right. You know your gamers, you know your game level, you know your skill level. If you suck, all right, fine. But if you're just a little bit good at games, play with no save states. You'll have much fun. That's how the games are intended to be played at. You're supposed to feel claustrophobic. You're supposed to feel tension, and you're supposed to, think about your ammo usage and shit like that. So no, do not play with save states.
I would go even farther. Don't even save.
I don't know about that.
How about that either?
But here would be my other asterisk. So it's interesting that he's playing the director's cut, the PS1 version. If for some reason you have not played the remake, play the remake of 1. That game's awesome. And you still need to have it. You still need ink ribbons and stuff like that. But definitely. If you're wanting to play it classic, then definitely use ink ribbons.
And that's on PS4. You could download the remake on PS4.
You sure can.
PC, yeah. But I will say, I think between the remake and the Resident Evil 1, just in general, I think Resident Evil 1 is a much scarier game.
The remake or like the OG?
The OG. PS1. The OG is a much scarier.
Really? You think it? Why do you say it's more scary?
I think the music is just more terrifying, honestly.
Okay.
And music really builds that atmosphere. But the remake is just as good. Don't get me wrong. Part of me might be saying that because I played Resident Evil 1 as a kid and I was terrified of it. But even now, I've seen some videos on YouTube. I'm like, I remember how terrifying this honestly could be. But they're both equally good. I think the remake really did it justice, capturing the atmosphere as well. Actually, you can't go wrong with either one, honestly. But I think get the original experience. See how you feel if you want to go back that far.
Taylor has many memories of Resident Evil 2 back in the day.
That was like me and Dallas and Connor, we played that game so many times. We probably beat that game. I lost track. 10 times.
How old were you when you did that?
I mean, Resident Evil 2 came out in 98, so I would have been like 12 or 13, something like that. But Connor was much younger, and he shared that story on the podcast where he said he literally wet himself because of a zombie jump scare.
No, I thought he shat himself.
Oh, I don't know about that. He might have. I don't know. There was some bowel movement that happened, and we're not like ratting him out. He said that on the podcast, I think, several times. So
he's freaked out, and then ran out. I mean, he's a little young guy.
It's interesting because like I remember being terrified of Resident Evil 2 as a kid, but it's like one of my favorite games of all time. I love that game so much.
Did you play the remake?
Oh, played that like 20, 50 times.
Yeah.
I love that remake. That remake was perfect.
Oh my god. That's like a top 5 game of the generation for me.
Like, absolutely.
Absolutely. And did you play it with the original soundtrack?
That's the only way to fucking play it. If you didn't play it with the original soundtrack, you didn't play the game. No, I'm serious. I'm not even lying about that. If you didn't play Resident Evil 2 remake with the original soundtrack, you didn't play the game. The new remake soundtrack is trash. It does nothing for that game. It does nothing for the atmosphere of that game. The original soundtrack is terrifying. It makes you
really good.
Yes. Oh my god. I think I said that in a tweet one time. If you didn't play with the original soundtrack, you didn't play the game.
The opening theme of the police
Oh
station.
my god, it's so good. It's so fucking the opening theme for that police station is eerie. It's unsettling. It's so good. Oh man, I used to have nightmares about that theme song back in the day. Oh my god, that was so good.
Sorry about that, babe.
Sorry about that, babe.
I thought you were one of them. What's going on in this town? Hold on.
Yeah, I didn't start playing.
The voice acting's real bad.
I didn't start playing horror games until I was in middle school. I got The Suffering for PS2.
Suffering. Can't remember that one.
Suffering. And I was like, these games are awesome. And then I went on a huge rabbit hole of horror games.
This one game on PS1, even when I was a kid, I was playing Resident Evil 2. I shouldn't have been playing those games because I was terrified of them. But there was one game I just could not play. I could not keep up on. I think my dad rented it, or my brother, he wanted to rent it or something like that. I saw it one scene of the game in the beginning. I was like, nope, I ain't playing this game. It's called Nightmare Creatures.
Nightmare Creatures.
That game just even today, that game creeps me out. I was looking at some freaking gameplay where I was like, yeah, there's a reason I was scared of this game when I was a kid. I do not want to fuck with this game.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that. I think I remember seeing that game in PSM.
Yeah, that game is terrifying. I actually do want to try to see if I can get an emulator and download and play it.
It's definitely a PS1 looking game, that's for sure.
Yeah,
that makes sense, but
there's a sequel.
Yeah.
There's two.
Yeah, I was really that game just the cover looks like, oh my god, especially for a kid. Actually, I want to play that game.
Yeah,
but this is one horror game that I can never. Well, it's not a horror game. It's more like a jump scare game, really. It's Five Nights at Freddy's 4. I want to stream that. Yeah, 4. I want to stream that so badly, just like I think it'll be real entertaining for me, but I can't play it. I feel like every time I try, I close the game out immediately. I can't play that game. I'm terrified of jump scares. I don't like the way the animatronics look. Like, I don't think somebody can even pay me to play that game.
It's a different type.
You were pretty into that game back in the day, weren't you, Nick?
Yeah, it's a different type of horror. It's so stressful, and it like hurts right here, like right in the chest area, and you're just like, because you know it's coming.
Yeah,
and it's just you're just completely stressed out.
So I could probably play the first Five Nights at Freddy's and the second one, but that fourth one with the way the animatronics look, I can't do it. I cannot do it. I do not want to be jump scared by them. Yeah. I think I was watching playthroughs like Markiplier or something like shit like that played, and I was jumping. I was like, oh, I can't do this. I can't even get past the first night.
That era was so fun when that game first came out.
Yeah, that was a fun little like
because like all 4 of those games came out in like a year.
Yeah. And a lot of people played it. Like a lot of people seen reactions. That was fun.
Good times.
Nick, have you played Alien Isolation?
Oh, that's the one I want to play. I think it's on Xbox Game Pass too.
Yes. I didn't play it.
Oh, that's right. Didn't you get it for free from your like work back in the day or something?
Yes, I got it for free for my work. Because
I like how Shadow's loading up right now.
Yeah, I'm literally going on Game Pass to see if it's on there because I really want to play that one. I just watched Alien 2 and 3 recently. No, 2 and 4 recently.
Like
No Clip just put out a documentary about the making of that game, and they show like early concept footage from like when it was a third-person game. It's pretty cool. I would look that up if you're really into that game. But man, it's I don't know if it's even scary. It's just like so atmospheric because like you're hiding a lot until you get the flamethrower. But man, it's really, especially if you love the Aliens franchise, you gotta play that game. It's so good.
Did it first come out on PS3?
It was a cross-gen game. Yeah, it came out on PS3 and PS4. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember my manager because when you're a manager at GameStop, or when you were a manager at GameStop, I don't know if it's still like that. You get they get free games and stuff like that. And he didn't really play, so he would just give them to us.
It is on there. I'm downloading it right now.
Nice.
And he gave me that because we were playing it at the apartment. Remember?
That's right. There's that little DLC I think where you play as Ripley and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like
really?
Yeah, it's like a little mini challenge like mode or whatever. It's not the whole game, but it's
Actually, I want to see it. I don't know why I'm downloading on my console. I should see if it's on PC.
Did you play? I mean, PT. I mean, we played it. We know we did, but
dude, I was so pissed at myself. I don't know why I did this. I was messing around with PT on my PS4 and I accidentally deleted it.
oof! It's gone.
I was
forever.
so mad at myself. I mean, I've played through that game so many times it doesn't really matter, but it's just we'll never get it back.
Well, I have it. So
I still have it.
If you ever want to, whenever you come over and we want to play it, I got it.
Okay, cool.
I just remember all of us were watching behind Taylor, and when Taylor was finally killed by the ghost mom thing, his chair literally went like 90 degrees back,
and I screamed, and then our roommate that was in the same room who had headphones screamed. He's like, "Whoa, what happened?" I've never screamed that loud at a game before.
That was funny, and we were trying. I mean, we were trying to figure it out. Remember that. Everyone
that was like the night it came out. Yeah, nobody knew what to do.
Everyone was trying to figure it out, and we were just like on forums, like someone said do this, someone just said do that, and then the way to do it was like you had to plug in a microphone and say something, and then it loads up, or something like that. You just had to say. I
still don't think people really know how it's done. Like I don't know if there's a formula. I think you're right. It has something to do with either a microphone or streaming.
Yeah. Because I know that to do the last part now, you just turn on a microphone and say something, and then you are able to continue moving forward, and then you get the secret ending, which is Silent Hills.
That was I wish more game developers did stuff like that. That was such a cool, like viral marketing moment. Like nobody does stuff like that. That was so fun. Like nobody knew what this was. It was a free thing, and people are trying to figure it out. Like God, that was fun.
Well, didn't Resident Evil 7 sort of do that too? We didn't know it was Resident Evil 7 at once, right? Or did we know it at that time?
So it was a little different. So what they did is they had a VR demo at like expos called Kitchen, and it was I don't even think that ends up in the final Resident Evil 7 game, but they had this thing called Kitchen for a while, and people were like, oh, this is a cool thing that Capcom's making. And then at E3 they had a demo, and it starts off and it says before Kitchen. And people are like, oh, this is that thing that Capcom's doing. And then people are like, what is this? And then it was Resident Evil. They announced that it was Resident Evil 7. And then that night, you could download a Resident Evil 7 demo.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then over time, they would update the demo with like new items and stuff. So that was always kind of fun to continuously, unlock stuff and see what new thing they added, which was kind of neat. So I remember the thing was that doll finger. We're like, what is this dummy finger? What is this? Nobody knew what the dummy finger went to.
Still don't.
But yes, still don't. Dude, do you remember when, before the Phantom Pain got announced, and there was Kojima like made up a fake studio, and like he had this actor that came out, and he had his face all bandaged up, and like that was and I feel like everybody knew this is just Metal Gear Solid 5. Like, what are we doing here? But I love that he messes around with stuff like that.
I mean, they called it Phantom Pain, right?
So it's just I think they just and it didn't show anything with it didn't say Metal Gear Solid or anything for a while. But we all knew.
Yep. All right, guys. So that'll be it for this episode of the Giant Sword Podcast. If you enjoyed what you listened to, saw, or whatever, be sure to subscribe, join the Discord, comment, answer our question of what kind of spoiler cast you want to see, and be sure to check out these guys' channels. They make JRPG videos, and yeah, all the links will be in the description below, and we'll see you next time. Later.
See ya.
Peace.